Owensboro, a city unparalleled in beauty, a town named as one of CNN's happiest places on earth. Between the sunset-stricken waterfront to the traditional town-style businesses that speckle the downtown area, perfection wafts through the air. But everything about this town can change quickly.
There's children in the shelter as well. We have an 8-day-old baby with his mom and dad. So
This is not the only town. Many cities all over the United States and globe are overrun with an endless epidemic, youth homelessness. Through the bustling of daily life, many people choose to turn a blind eye to the world around them, a world that houses the homeless, the veterans, drug-addicted, mentally ill, the children. For ages, many people have subscribed to the same pattern as Misha Kleider, auteur of the homeless documentary Streets of Plenty.
Living on the streets is easy. They don't want to work. They're a bunch of scammers. They can get a job like everybody else and work the 9 to 5. They don't want to do that. They got everything they need just living there on the street.
This mind frame, though not uncommon, rarely depicts the entirety of homelessness. This societal issue comes equipped with causes.
I'm sure some have mental health issues. I'm sure drug and alcohol abuse or previous drug and alcohol abuse is a huge issue. Some have had really horrible circumstances that, a combination of this and this and this has really taken them down. Some have had health issues that then they fall behind on this bill and this bill and this bill, and then just the basic living expenses when you're making $8.50 an hour, they can't get on their feet well enough on their own to get back into their own apartment or things like that.
Among the homeless youth in the United States, a shocking 40% are without their home due to sexuality. According to a study by Jeffrey Ream and Nicholas Forge in the Child Welfare Journal, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT youth account for the majority of juveniles on the streets because of alienation from their family and friends for not conforming to societal norms. Reports show, even though these LGBT youth are the majority of the homeless population, they find themselves the targets of discrimination within the society and face a disadvantage for receiving help as few LGBT-specific shelters and transitional facilities exist. The struggles of being an LGBT youth on the street begin to span more than only alienation, but also abuse, trauma, and physical and sexual assault. The LGBT community makes up the majority of the homeless population, yet face discrimination on the street and lack the same age as their cisgender counterparts. This discrimination leads to a rise in sexually transmitted diseases and infections, as many LGBT youth trade sexual acts and favors for food or a place to sleep. While sexuality is depicted as one of the main causes of homelessness, there are many other culprits held accountable for the increase in youth homelessness, one being the foster care system. This system does not equip the child for life after they turn 18, nor does it aid the children in their transition. The move from adolescence to adulthood can be challenging, and the foster care system neglects the well-being of the child involved as they transition. The costs of homelessness do not stop at lacking a bed or a safe place to sleep. This problem affects the mental and physical well-being of the adolescent. According to the American Journal of Health Behavior, people who become homeless in their youth, defined as before age 25, have a 77.4% likelihood of developing a mental illness such as major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia, while a homeless person who becomes homeless after the age of 25 presents a 64.1% likelihood of developing a mental illness. Mental disorders such as these fall under the category serious mental disorders. These illnesses curtail productivity and the overall well-being of the individual, which leads to a decrease in motivation and ability to complete tasks that could better his or her life. The 13% increase in the appearance of a disorder proves experimentally significant enough to deduce a major problem with mental health among the nation's homeless youth. These youth also have a high percentage of suicide and suicide attempts, whether it is by drug overdose or by other means. At times, many people believe youth homelessness is unsolvable. Thad Gunderson, the program's director at the Patino Shelter in Owensboro, Kentucky, gives a viable and affordable solution to the homelessness predicament. He says, "We must show the love of Christ to those less fortunate." This solution does not require money or inhuman abilities, but love and compassion, characteristics every person can find deep in their hearts. A solution as simplistic as love proves to eradicate a multitude of issues. Whether a helping hand or a kind smile, the love of Christ, according to Gunderson, aids the issue. Such a simplistic solution can be met with such means as church volunteers, soup kitchens, and free beds to those who are weary. The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me."